Hello everybody, ChickenBrad here today, and this morning I went to play a Blitz game, not to make a video of it, but just to play a quick one, and I accidentally registered for a standard 15-minute time game, which is this one here, and I hadn't played a lot of standard time recently. I've been playing mostly Blitz, except for when I play over the board, and I thought this game illustrated pretty good progress I've made playing positional chess. Excuse me. And defensive chess as well. I'd been mostly an offensive player in my early chess career, I suppose you'd say. So I kind of just want to show you this game, not because I won it, but I was satisfied in how it went. I think even had I lost, I felt that although I may have made mistakes, I'm sure I did, but I think I played fairly well for my level of play, and it shows progress. So like I said, I thought it was a Blitz game, so I played all the moves really quickly until move 8. I realized my opponent was taking quite a bit of time, and then I realized it was not a Blitz game. So we'll just go through the beginning here. I opened with e4. He played e3, or I'm sorry, e6, which signals the French defense. Which if any of you have seen my Blitz videos, that I play fairly frequently, or at least I have some experience with it. I'm a pretty new player. And I play d4. Now he continues with d5. And from here there's a number of things you can do, but the defense, or the continuation that I've had the most success with was knight to c3. So that's what I did. And now he continues with knight f6. And here, which, this is attacking the e4 pawn. And here, there's a couple of things you can do, but the one that I decided to do here was just advance the pawn to e5. And you'll notice I'm not using my Ribka program with all the arrows and all that fancy nice stuff, because it kind of slows my computer down with the engine, even if I'm not using the engine. So we're just going off the base software here. So he continues, just standard opening moves here. And normally in this position as black, I would play my pawn to c5, and I think that is the standard bookline continuation for the French defense. But he did not do that. He played, I'm sorry, it's my move. I played my knight out here. And now he played his bishop over to e7, and I thought this was kind of strange because it seemed like he wasn't intending to play his pawn to c5, which is a very strong move in this position. And if he was wasting a tempo with this move. So I was kind of confused by this, but I continued along anyway to see what his plan was. So I just developed my light square bishop here, and this is my stronger bishop. As you notice, his bishop in the French defense is going to be out of the game for quite a while. Well, not in this variation, but anyway. So now he pushes this pawn here, and I noticed a couple of things on this move. One, it weakens his king side, and in the French defense, you almost always castle king side. Very, very seldom would you castle queen side, and usually the white player castles king side as well. So and this is a move that it works in Blitz games, and it's not necessarily a bad move, but one thing about it is it's a very forcing move. It really attacks the center, and black is underdeveloped here. It's usually this is a move I've played, but I usually don't play this move down the line until after I've castled and developed my knight here to c6. Because then, I can support this kind of advance with the rook behind it, etc. For example, let's just go back. Play might continue something like this, and then, after, say, like, this move or something, then this move comes, and it just seems a lot stronger in this position. And black has less problems to deal with, and this is one of the main problems for black in the game, is he was underdeveloped to kind of make this advance. So let's just go back to Okay, so this move was played, and here I decided to just kind of ignore this threat for now and just go ahead and castle. So that's what I did, just kind of continuing with my development and seeing once again what black wanted to do. I thought maybe he would castle here because I'm not really worried about this pawn being captured. It would, kind of break up my pawn center, but if any of you know the theory behind the French defense, it's this pawn center, this strong pawn, almost never stays intact for long anyway. So here black pushed his pawn, and I thought, oh no, maybe this was a mistake, me not capturing there, because this move can really be annoying. This takes space away, and now he can castle and he can support it, and I'm going to have a hard time developing on my king side here, and he may be able to launch an attack against it, and my pieces are kind of being cramped over here on the queen side. So I had a couple of ideas, and one of my first one was, well, how do I defend this? Well, I have to launch some kind of an attack on the queen side, and I thought my best move to play here was this c4 pawn push, since he kind of limited himself on the queen side, and also to allocate king pieces to my king side if I needed to defend. So I had a move that accomplished both those things at once, or not accomplished, but progress towards that. So and that was knight down here to e2. And this also eyes some of these key squares here on f4 and d4. So from here, now black played c5. Okay, I already told that guy I was busy. Apparently he doesn't listen. And I looked at this and kind of, this move just seems too little too late. I'm like, so he's really trying to attack the center here. And I kind of thought about this, and I'm like, what does this do? I've got, two knights defending this square. I would love to actually have a knight on this d4 square. So if he takes there, that was just fine with me. So I decided to continue with my plan. This move didn't really hurt it at all, and if anything, if I was to play c4 here, he can no longer bring his knight or his pawn to the c6 square. So if I capture here, he can recapture and kind of maintain this pawn structure. So this and he has this backwards e pawn, and so now with this c4 pawn, if I can capture here, he's going to have serious problems in the center. So this move actually was very good for me, I thought. So I continued with c4. And from here, I think he took some time, and I think he realized that this move could be a problem for him. And his solution was to play his knight over to b6, which I think was a fairly good choice. But at the same time, I thought I could still continue with my plan and kind of get things done like I was hoping. So he went ahead and captured here, or I'm sorry, I went ahead and captured here, and the reason for this was because if I didn't capture, then he would have the option to capture here with his knight, which would make things difficult for me. So I went ahead and captured. He recaptured, and now I played my knight up to the f4 square, which is protected by the bishop and is threatening his knight here, and also this pawn on e6. So from here, he went ahead and captured that knight. I recaptured with my bishop. And as you can see here, he's kind of got these awkward pawns, and my center is fairly strong. We've already gone into a middle game, and his entire queen side is completely undeveloped, and he's uncastled from this position. So I think this is where the major problems lied for him, and I was able to capitalize on this game. So from here, he went ahead and developed his other knight, a good move, also putting two attackers to this pawn here. And I needed to either capture with this pawn, which I didn't want to do because it would help him. It would take away control of the center, and it would also allow him to develop this dark square bishop. So I didn't want to capture here. I couldn't push this pawn because I would just lose it. So I had a move, fortunately, that accomplished both those things and pinned the knight at the same time. So I played, my knight over to b5. Which now my queen and my knight are defending this pawn, and he can no longer capture it with this knight, so he only has one attacker on it. So if he were to take here, he would just simply we would just simply trade pawns, and then I would actually have a fairly strong attack on his king side here, or on his queen side. I'm sorry. So here, I thought for sure he would castle here, but he didn't. He played his bishop up to d7, and this move, I thought was a mistake. I actually didn't even consider at first him playing this move, because as soon as I saw this, I went, oh, I can just push this pawn now if he plays this move, and attacking this pawn here, and that'll really cause him problems. So notice his king is stuck here in the center. I have tons of space, and he just, so this is kind of, I'm not saying my opponent was played badly or anything like that, and I'm not trying to insult my opponent, but I'm just simply saying that this is kind of an illustration of what you don't want to do early in a game, is launch an attack like this when you're behind in development. So now I decided I was able to push this pawn, and I thought, I didn't really consider any other moves. I kind of played this immediately to kind of as I knew it was fairly strong, and it kind of just as a shocker here, because so now he played the logical move, which is his knight out to d4, and I sat at this position for some time, and I decided here that I could kind of eliminate his pieces, still have the space advantage, keep my connected pawns, and win a pawn. And my plan was to capture the bishop with check, so he had to recapture this bishop first. And then I would capture his knight. He would recapture this pawn. I would push this pawn. He would be forced to move this bishop, and notice he can't move it out to this square here, because, well, here, I'll just go through this variation and show you. So I can. Anyway, so this is what I calculated. I played captured, and then I pushed this pawn, and he can't play his pawn to this square or this square because it would be taken. And if he plays it to this square, I simply come in here with check, and then I win this bishop. So he can't play that either. So he only has one square for his bishop, which is, and he correctly placed it. Excuse me. He correctly placed it on the d8 square. And from here I saw that I could win this pawn. This was in the continuation that I had considered when I first played this. However, after looking at this situation, I thought about it, and I thought, this is a passed pawn. It's semi-dangerous, but he doesn't have any pieces supporting it. He's really got to worry about these connected pawns with my passed pawn here. And his king is still uncastled. And I really don't want him to castle in this situation, because if he does, he kind of can tuck his king away, and with these two pawns here, it would be somewhat difficult to launch an attack on his king side, and then play would